Hi everyone, and welcome to another Thrift Witch haul. Today I'm going to be talking about a small number of items that I recently got at a trip to my local thrift store. There wasn't a lot this particular day, so I didn't pick up that many items, but I am just going to go through what I picked up and give you an idea of what my total spend was for the trip. The first item, and probably my favorite item from this trip, is this giant piggy bank. This piggy bank is ceramic. It does have its plug. It's in good condition, no cracks, no chips. There are some glaze, some spots perhaps where the glaze didn't completely get applied on the side here, or something caused a bit of the glaze to be removed. However, other than that, this giant piggy bank is in really nice condition. It reminds me of a very large piggy bank, at least in my mind it was very large because I was little, that was raffled off when I was in kindergarten. And I remember desperately wanting to win this piggy bank and not being the lucky winner. And so this little piece was quite nostalgic. I'm not sure how old it is. I just think it's a great piece and a real standout item. Next is something, so what I've also learned about thrifting for resale is that I want to purchase items not just that I would enjoy, but items that maybe other people would enjoy. So while I myself might not be particularly interested in this resin female bufflehead figurine, there are people who enjoy these and collect them, or just like to have them around as a piece of, as a piece of decorative material, a decorative material maybe for fall, etc. So this is a Studio Wild Canada bufflehead female. It is numbered, it's a limited edition. That doesn't really mean a great deal, no offense to anyone. So not a hugely valuable item, but again, something, especially if I offer this for sale in our antique booth in Perth, someone might pick up for their cottage or to decorate with, in the fall. Next is a cute little ceramic seagull on a rock, which I thought was sweet. This item is a candy dish, open candy dish or tray. It is hand painted. I don't know if you can see that there. Sometimes when an item is marked hand painted, you'll be able to tell that most of the decoration has been applied. And how you can tell that is it looks like a series of tiny little dots as if it's been printed onto the porcelain. And then there'll be a few touches of hand painting. And that's enough for people to say that it's hand painted. In this case, I believe that all of the applied decoration is hand painted. I don't see any of the telltale signs of it being transferware with touch-ups. This piece is called Cashmere Rose. It does say hand painted Japan. I also know that this is a Shafford item. So in an earlier video, you saw some figurines that I showed that were made by Shafford. Again, not a super high quality manufacturer or company that imported things made in Japan. However, still collectible and worth having. And I thought this little dish with this nice rose hand painting was worth picking up. Next, a couple more modern things that I picked up, and that's some Christmas items. Christmas, whether super vintage or not that vintage, often sells quite well. So this little pair of snowmen, salt and peppers, and you can tell they are a set because one has 2 holes and one has 3. One's for pepper, one's for salt. They do have plastic stoppers, which does indicate they're newer, but they were quite inexpensive. They came in a bag with these other Christmas items, meaning that I'm going to be able to offer those for sale for as little as $4. And someone will love to have those to put out for Christmas. So along with the snowmen in the bag was this set of Santa and Mrs. Claus shakers in the original packaging. Again, not a vintage item, but something that people might pick up for a few dollars, as well as an extra Santa shaker by himself. Next, another item that perhaps I wouldn't necessarily purchase for myself, but might again be something that someone else would like for the cottage or for decoration, is this little duck. So this is a piece of UNESCO 1985 1985 is a lot longer ago than we like to think, everyone. It was 30 years ago. 30 plus years ago. No, is that right? God, I'm old. 35 years ago. Yeah, I'm old. And it is a bisque or porcelain duck, not resin. Cute, and also does have a Christmas collar on it, so you could also put that out at Christmas time. Here's another little piece of nostalgia for those of you who remember her, Kathy. She was a daily, I believe a daily cartoon in the newspaper cartoon section. This is a little figurine of her with some teddy bears and says, "There's no one like a mother." Originally, this may have been a music box. There is something underneath this piece of wood. However, I don't know. It's not in working condition if it was a music box. So I don't know if it can be repaired, but I think it is also just a cute little piece of nostalgia for display. Next, another duck. I'm not 100% sure whether this redhead, like a girl, is a hobbyist piece or a manufactured piece. It's really well painted for it to be a hobbyist piece, and it does have a mark underneath. It does say Canada at the top with some symbols and redhead. I do know my ducks, but I did have a cheat sheet here. So I'm not 100% sure if this was a hobby piece or if it was actually manufactured for sale. It's in excellent condition, no chips, no cracks, no issues with the paint. Also, again, just a little piece of decorative item that somebody would perhaps put with the other ducks that I showed today. A couple little pieces of porcelain. Again, not a huge amount of age, but nice condition. I forgot to mention that these came in the bag with the seagull. So again, very inexpensive, and so I am able to then move these on to other people for very little money. So this swan here has, surprisingly, a perfect basket of flowers on its back. No chips, no cracks. These things are always damaged. Honestly, the fact that it was inside of a bag, I can't believe it didn't have any damage to it. Also a piece of Japan, so a little bit of age on this piece. This pair of, I believe, doves together on a little pedestal with a cute little yellow daisy. Also has a sticker. This one says genuine bone china, Taiwan. So not a great deal of age, but a cute little decorative piece. Just like picking up these items for Christmas time, I'm also looking to pick up other items for other holidays like Halloween. This is not a vintage piece. This is a newer piece with a pumpkin with a witch inside. No markings, but a nice decorative piece for Halloween that someone may pick up. Next, I have this piece of Holly Hobby stitchery. So this is hand done, I believe, and it says H Hobby for Holly Hobby. Definitely probably something from the 70s, maybe later, but Holly Hobby was at her peak when I was very, very little in the mid to late 70s and early 80s. And it's well done and well framed and in good condition. So something sweet for a Holly Hobby collector, someone who's looking to do a more vintage feel for their baby's room, etc. The next item that I picked up is one of these surprising things that, you know, I paid less than $5, I think I paid $3 for this item. This is a roll of vintage wallpaper, unopened, with this fantastic 70s pattern. You might be surprised to find out that vintage rolls of wallpaper, particularly with attractive patterns or vintage patterns such as this, sell for quite good money on eBay. Like, you know, not, I don't think this one as an example, but sometimes up to and more than $100. I think this one is easily valued at somewhere around the $25 or $30 range. You know, and again, something that was only a few dollars to pick up and surprised me. So I will keep looking for vintage wallpaper because of this. So I think the total for everything that you see here in this trip was $35 or $36. There was another item that I did actually hang on to, which was a little ceramic squirrel. So something I haven't been doing in previous videos is necessarily telling you if I'm keeping things or showing you the things that I've been keeping. And I think if I'm going to be telling you what the total is for the haul, I should probably be clear about whether or not I actually hung on to a few things. In addition to this trip to the thrift store, I was able to go to our local Salvation Army and pick up a few items. From this pile here, 2 or 3 of these are things that I am going to be keeping. So the cookie jar in the back with the roses is the cookie jar that sat on my maternal grandmother's fridge. Well, not the actual cookie jar. We're not 100% sure where that ended up. It may have been sold at her auction, or it may have gone to a family member. But it's a real piece of nostalgia because as long as I remember, it was on top of the fridge at her house, and it didn't ever have cookies in it. It probably had papers and knickknacks or small keepsakes, or, you know, the kind of things that accumulate in your kitchen. So I'm going to be keeping that. My sister may take that and keep it. Next is a little piece of ruby glass. It may be a little hard to see from here, but it says Peterborough on it. My mom collects these, so I'm going to be passing that on to her. The little clear glass with the red applied roses, that will be for sale. This little piece of chalkware here with the 2 bears on a stump, one of the bears is actually looking in the stump, I think probably looking for insects or honey. That is a really common motif. So I believe that little piece of chalkware does have some good age, but you'll see this motif of 2 bears on a stump with quite some frequency both in ceramics and in chalkware. So I wasn't exactly sure when this was made, however I do think it's a really nice piece, and it's probably older, like probably before 1950. That's my guess. This here is a lamp, a ship's lamp. It is missing its cord. Someone has cut it off here. So I am going to rewire this, or have someone rewire it for me. The ceramic portion of the boat is in excellent condition. This is going to definitely be a mid-century modern piece, or mid-century piece. It would have originally had a couple of metal or even maybe fabric sails on it, but even without the sails, I think including a new light bulb and cord will probably make this a good little night light. So again, here's that little cup with souvenir of Peterborough that I'm going to be passing on to my mom. The little chalkware, so sweet, 2 bears on a stump. Definitely has that look and feel of age, this piece of chalkware. A little piece of glassware. The cookie jar, as I said, that I'm going to be keeping in the family in memory of Grandma. And then just this, I couldn't really find much out about this little trinket jar here. It appears to me to have applied leaves and maybe cherries, and there's almost like a pebble applied on the glaze. It doesn't have a mark. I don't think it's a hobbyist piece because it does look quite professionally made, but in very good condition and definitely has some age. So I will be putting that up for sale. Total spend on those items, even though I'm keeping them, was, I don't even think, $10. The prices at the Salvation Army, at least locally to me, are often quite a bit lower than, say, for example, the Value Village. However, the selection is often not quite as good, so there's the trade-off there. And with Value Village as well, if you make a donation, you can get a coupon for 20% off up to $100. So that's everything I wanted to share with you today. All the cats are sleeping somewhere, so we don't have any kitty cats to look at. We didn't even buy any kitty cats that we could meow at. So I guess we're just going to have to leave the haul video here. Again, thanks for watching the Thrift Witch channel. Really appreciate your comments, your input, and if there was anything here that you were really interested in, feel free to drop me a line. Thanks, everyone.